Actor Uncensored. It's a very rainy Thursday night here in Houston. Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade is standing by with an update. Ramisha.
Well, hopefully you're safely at home, but if you have to be out and about, things are a little rough out there. I know one of my coworkers walked in and she was like, I was drenched. It is coming down. I had water all in my shoes and I'm trying to dry off. Yes, we've had 2 to 3 inches of rain in just the last 1 to 1.5 hours for the Houston area and parts of Sugar Land. So for that reason, the National Weather Service upgraded that flood advisory to a flash flood warning. So that means we could have the potential for life-threatening flash flooding going on across some of the H-Town streets. So keep that in mind if you have to be out in this. All around the 610 loop, still dealing with heavy rain up towards Beaumont Place, Brookhaven, Almeda Plaza, Missouri City, even down towards Sugar Land. If you're in Sugar Land, you are under that flash flood warning as well. So it's parts of Fort Bend County into Harris County. Notice the rain still coming down around Jacinto City, Galena Park. So it is just messy out there. Not quite as heavy as what we've seen over the last 30 minutes to an hour. But West University Place, Riverside Terrace still getting in on some of that heavy rain. So how much rain have we been dealing with out there? Well, looking inside the storm, our Fox Ride radar estimating anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain for much of Houston down to parts of Sugar Land. But we do have some reports of close to 3 inches of rain for parts of the area. So keep in mind the flood risk is going to be higher for the next couple of hours. That flash flood warning goes all the way through midnight. So we've still got a little over an hour to get through before we get rid of that flash flood warning. Here's a live view of Houston. The rain continues to come down and it is likely going to be a bit messy out there, at least for the next 1 to 2 hours. I think gradually these showers and storms will start to kind of wind down overnight, but notice that elevated flood risk stretching from Houston down to League City, down to Galveston. So let's look at our model and see what these showers and storms are going to do for the late night hours. And notice there will be some improvements, widespread rain for the next 1 or 2 hours, but I think by the time we get into 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., most of that is rolling out. So I think by the time many of you hit the roads in the morning, 6, 7, 8 a.m., things should be much drier, a lot better. Hopefully we can get rid of that flooding so you don't have to deal with it in the morning.
All right, thanks a lot. Still ahead tonight, workers in healthcare speak out about violence against nurses. Keep it here.
flood risk that has been increasing drastically in the Houston and Sugar Land areas over the last few hours. Around 9:30, 10 p.m., these showers and storms really started to fire up over H-Town and down towards Sugar Land. A slow-moving line of storms developed, and they've just been kind of sitting in some of the same areas for the last couple of hours. So when that happened, the National Weather Service issued a flood advisory first for minor flooding. Then the heavy rain kept on coming, and that flood advisory was upgraded to a flash flood warning, and that still goes all the way through midnight, so for about another 28 minutes. I want to show you this graphic because this basically tells the story. The heaviest rain at this point situated in parts of Harris County, showing up from our Fox radar, right around 3 inches of rain stretching from Beaumont Place to Oates Prairie being estimated in just the last 2 to 3 hours. So this is a lot of rain in a short period of time, and the concern is that the streets are likely starting to flood in some of these spots. So this is going to be near East Houston, and this is also to the north and west of Cloverleaf. So our Fox radar estimating right around 3 inches of rain falling in a short period of time over the last few hours from Beaumont Place to Oates Prairie. So that area is still under the flash flood warning. Also, much of Houston, especially downtown Houston, still under that flash flood warning. It also includes Bel Air, Brookhaven, Almeda Plaza, 5th Street, DeWalt, and over towards Meadows Place and Sugar Land. So the flash flood warning actually extends into northeastern parts of Fort Bend County as well. So parts of Harris and Fort Bend counties under this flash flood warning through midnight. It also includes parts of Sugar Land. So if you are going to be out late, hopefully you're at home, getting ready for bed, relaxing. But if you have to be out, make sure you are extremely careful because we had reports of some flooded streets in and around Houston. So it is not advisable to get out there, but it looks like the rain rates are coming down a bit for the Houston area. Some of the heaviest rain at this point has kind of shifted from Houston over to Crosby, Barrett, Highlands, and the Gilbert Landing area, also over towards Sheldon. So that's where we could start to see a few more flooded streets. And these cells that are popping up are moving extremely slow, less than 10 miles per hour. So once they start dumping this rain, really there's going to be a lot of it in a short period of time because they're not moving in quickly and moving out. So certainly keep that in mind. Also, we still got some pretty good downpours to the east of downtown Houston right now. This is over towards Galena Park, Jacinto City, Cloverleaf, Channelview. You're getting in on some heavy rain right now, and that stretches down towards Brownwood. Also, heavier downpours getting closer to Deer Park as well. So there's a ton of rain out there. At least things are looking better across downtown Houston, West University Place, the Galleria area. Still raining, but the rain not nearly as heavy as it was even just 30-45 minutes ago, and certainly an hour ago it was super heavy rainfall. As far as Sugar Land, you're still getting some showers, but it is not as heavy as it was earlier, so that is also some great news. So things are improving slowly but surely, but this flash flood warning for parts of Sugar Land up to Houston, Bel Air does continue through midnight. Let's check out some of the other Fox Red Radar estimated rain totals, and you can see up towards Beaumont Place, Oates Prairie, almost 3 inches of rain there. Downtown Houston getting close to 2 inches of rain. Close to 1.5 to 2 inches of rain as well towards Missouri City, and almost 2 inches of rain for southern parts of Sugar Land. So these storms dumped a lot of rain in a short period of time. The rain is still coming down, so we could pick up another 1 to 2 inches of rain for a few of these spots. Fortunately, from this shot at least, not seeing any major flooding, traffic moving along just fine, but there are some other areas where there will be some ponding of water, standing of water on those roads, and some streets could be completely flooded. You'll notice the area with that elevated street risk flooding stretching basically from I-10 down to the coast. Houston, Sugar Land getting some of the worst of that rain tonight. League City, Santa Fe, Galveston, also an elevated flood risk down towards your area, and Baytown. You are included in this as well, along with Pearland all the way down to Freeport. So best shot for this bursts of heavy rain tonight will be from Houston near I-10 to points south. But I think by 3 to 4 a.m., a lot of this will start to wind down. But with all the rain that we've had, it's not going to take much more rain to create more flooding issues. But here's a little bit of good news. The severe storm threat at least should stay southwest of Houston tonight. And this model showing most of that rain moving out before most of you hit the roads in the morning. So I think between 3 to 5 a.m., most of this rainfall is out of here. So if you are leaving for work in the morning, 6 o'clock, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., most of the flooding should be gone and things will be improving. Let's check out another computer model that we have. This is our high resolution computer model, and you can see that we've got still some downpours showing up around Baytown, League City around 2 a.m., some showers getting a little less widespread and not quite as heavy for Galveston, Baytown around 4 or 5 a.m. And then I think by 7, 8, 9 a.m. it's just a few light rain showers left in the area. So just keep in mind that this excessive rainfall raises streams. Excessive rainfall will raise the streams, the river levels, water can overflow and cause flash flooding. And that's what we have a higher risk of for tonight. So hopefully you are getting ready for bed. You don't have to be out there, but just in case you're out tonight, or if you have to be out early tomorrow before this rain leaves, remember to turn those headlights on, avoid cruise control, slow down to avoid hydroplaning. Do not slam the brakes on if you are hydroplaning, because that will only make it worse. And make sure to keep a safe distance from the car ahead of you. Try to stay safe out there. We'll have another update for you coming up within the next 8 to 10 minutes or so. So stay safe out there and enjoy your night. Fox 26 meteorologist Ramisha Shade here. Time now is 11:45. Still monitoring some big bursts of heavy rains and some storms that are very slow moving, kind of sitting over some of the same areas, dumping a lot of rain in a short period of time. Overall, I think our severe storm risk is very low tonight. Not really expecting that, but the flood risk has certainly increased quite a bit. Some spots picking up 2 to 3 inches of rain in just 1 to 2 hours. So let's head to our Fox Red radar, and you will see that we've got a lot of rain still over Houston. Not quite as heavy as it was an hour and a half ago, but we do still have a flash flood warning in and around Houston, dipping all the way down towards Sugar Land. So this is a flash flood warning through midnight, so for about another 14 to 15 more minutes for northeastern parts of Fort Bend County, including some of you in Sugar Land, all the way up into south central portions of Harris County. Notice that the rain is still coming down, although like I said, it's not as heavy as it was about an hour ago. That axis of heaviest rain is now shifted off into eastern parts of Harris County and southwestern Liberty County. So that's where we have a new flood advisory there. So here is the latest flood advisory issued by the National Weather Service, and it does include a part of Harris County and southwestern portion of Liberty County, and it also includes northwestern parts of Chambers County. So eastern Harris, southwest Liberty, northwest Chambers until 2:45. Now this is not as serious as a flash flood warning. This is basically put out for minor street flooding that could be occurring up around Crosby, Barrett, Sheldon, down to Highlands, Gilbert Landing, Cody, and up towards the Sheiks area. So this is a flood advisory, aerial flood advisory. So if you do live around some rivers, creeks, streams that are prone to flooding, you certainly want to watch out for that, because there's going to be a higher chance for that, and also watch out for just some streets that could be flooded as well. We're concerned because you can see our Fox Red radar estimating close to 3 inches of rain falling right around Crosby, Sheldon, 1 to 2 inches of rain over towards Barrett, Beaumont Place, close to 3 inches of rain, and just over the last couple of hours. So that's why we have that flood advisory up towards Crosby and Barrett, and still a flash flood warning back towards Beaumont Place and back towards the Houston area. So it's been a ton of rain falling in a short period of time. In fact, you can see the bullseye for some of that heaviest rain from Beaumont Place to Oates Prairie, anywhere from about 3 to 3.2 inches of rain showing up. What about Houston? Well, there are parts of Houston that have picked up almost 2 inches of rain. Fortunately, it is getting lighter, but this has come over the last 1 to 2 hours. So the flash flood warning area stretches from First Colony, Sugar Land, 5th Street, Missouri City, up to Houston, Oates Prairie, Beaumont Place, and anywhere from 1.5 to 3 inches of rain for most of these locations. So that is a lot of rain in a short period of time, and that is going to be our biggest issue for the next few hours, that flood risk. Here's what's going on now. Notice the rain has gotten a little bit lighter for much of Houston. Galena Park, you're getting a burst of rain. Heaviest rain now stretching from Beaumont Place to Barrett to Highlands down to Channelview, and now getting into Baytown. The problem is that these downpours are barely moving, so they're just sitting over some of these spots and just dumping a lot of rain for 2 or 3 hours. So I think finally by 2, 3, 4 a.m. it will start to kind of wind down. But for now, these showers continue to crank out the rain, and it is going to be a bit of a mess on some of those roads if you have to be out. It is late, so hopefully you're at home safely, but if you do have to venture out in the next few hours, watch out for some flooded streets in and around Houston, and now getting over towards Gilbert Landing, Brownwood, and the Baytown area, and also down towards Deer Park. So we will continue with the threat for some of these heavy downpours leading to some flooded streets, although things are improving, as I mentioned, for Houston, Bel Air, and also down towards Sugar Land. Live view out there will show you we've still got some wet roads. It looks like in this shot traffic moving along pretty good, but of course those secondary roads, low-lying areas are going to be the hardest hit, and that is where you will have a higher likelihood to find some flooding issues. Notice that flood risk remains elevated from Houston down to League City, Baytown, Galveston, Pearland. Things are getting a little better for you in Sugar Land, but that flash flood warning does continue through midnight, so certainly watch out, be careful if you have to venture outside. Models are showing most of this heavy rain slowly but surely moving out overnight. I think by 3, 4, 5 a.m. things will slowly improve. And by the time many of you have to head out for the morning drive, getting to work, running some errands, dropping your kids off, it should be a little better. I think most of that heavy rain will be out of here. So still showing some burst of heavy rain around Baytown, League City around 2, 3 a.m. That starts to weaken and push off to the east over towards the Beaumont area by 4 or 5 a.m. And I think by 7, 8, 9 a.m., most of the heavy rain at least is gone with just a few light rain showers around. So keep in mind as these downpours are falling, that threat for flooding increasing as that excessive rainfall continues to raise those streams and river levels. Water can overflow and cause more flash flooding. So just be extra careful and avoid any flooded areas. Also be careful driving out there. Make sure you're slowing down, watching for any water covering the roads. Try not to slam on the brakes if you're hydroplaning, and make sure to increase that distance between your car and the car ahead of you. Try to stay safe out there. Like I said, I think most of this is gone by 6, 7 a.m. in the morning, and we will have some improvements for your Friday weather after that. Well, that is it for now. Stay safe out there. If you have to be out there, keep in mind that flash flood warning ends in about 8 minutes for the Houston Metro, but we do still have a couple of flood advisories just to the east of Houston up towards Crosby, Barrett, so be careful in those spots all the way down to Baytown.